Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's continue with the new lesson for today, Chapter 5, BPR Methodology. The steps, purpose, and outcomes. This is where the how questions come in. How to prepare for the journey. Alright, after knowing where you are at the first place, what are the issues, the problem? Is there any warning sign? You have to light the way. After lighting the way, you know where you are going. Alright, and then do not walk alone. And then right now you have to prepare for the journey, in which usually the business re-engineers, they use a methodology to guide their way in achieving those vision, mission, and goals of the organization that has been designed earlier. Alright, a well-structured methodology enables the business re-engineering team to plan, to track the activities, to measure the project achievements, what have been achieved, what has not been achieved, all right, and then to define deliverables and outcomes, to accurately estimate project costs throughout the life of a project. Therefore, this chapter will describe the methodology for a successful re-engineering projects, as without methodology you may never get where you want to go. First of all, we all must understand that there are key decision points in every business engineering effort. It's about how to collect and organize the information required for decision making, the strategies, the tactics required to make the most appropriate decision. Therefore, we have 5 decision points in BPR project, and we're gonna take a look at these 8 key decision points one by one, including the explanation on each. All right, the purpose, the outcome, and the key activities. Moving on to the third decision points in BPR project. This is where you will ask this question: what is the detailed design for our re-engineered business operation? What are the processes function? How will the organization look? The systems, the infrastructure that you need to change, whether the belief systems, the culture can be changed or not, how to cater those belief system, those culture. All right, so the purpose of this step 3 is to design a new way of doing business. Design new way of doing business, either it be in terms of the culture, the belief system, the infrastructure that you will change, the processes involved, or any new system that you want to embed to that particular process, in alignment with the vision, values, and goals. So the outcome of this third step is the redesign blueprint. This blueprint is a document for a plan for action. It consists of the physical or technical, the infrastructure, and value components that we have learned earlier in the first chapter. If you still remember the third layer, the 3 layers. So this blueprint and this document will provide the foundation for a realistic, for a feasible implementation, and enables the team to estimate implementation costs and forecast the implementation benefits. Okay, in this blueprint documents, there will be the 3 major components, the 3 major layers that we have discussed earlier in chapter 1 of the re-engineered business, which is the physical or technical component, the infrastructure component or layer, and the value component, value layer. Okay, so for physical or technical component, okay, this physical or technical component answers a few questions for people. Okay, what work will be required to produce the products or services? What need to be done? Okay, what business policies, practices, and controls need to ensure effective performance? Okay, what information do we need to operate effectively? Who will do what work? So the delegation must be there, the delegation of the task. What computer systems, communication networks, and other technologies must be used to enable the work to be done effectively? Okay, so in this physical technical component, it is organized into 4 distinct models. Okay, previously what we have learned is we have 3 dimensions. If you still remember, the process, organization, and technology. Okay, but here we have added one more, the information model. All right, process, information, organization, and technology. What does it mean by this process model? Okay, it is the core of the blueprint and depicts work processes in the re-engineered environment. Okay, the key business outcomes and the criteria for judging the quality, the business processes required to produce and support the business outcome. Okay, basically this process model is about the processes involved, okay, in accomplishing the task. Okay, the description of how those processes relate to each other. Okay, any dependencies from one process to another process, including the workflows, the information flows, and the timing dependencies. Okay, a process must create or transform physical or data and must add value to an outcome. So that is the process model, basically about the processes involved to complete and to accomplish a task. Okay, so in this physical technical component, it is organized into 4 distinct models. Okay, previously what we have learned is we have 3 dimensions. If you still remember, the process, organization, and technology. Okay, but here we have added one more, the information model. All right, process, information, organization, and technology. What does it mean by this process model? Okay, it is the core of the blueprint and depicts work processes in the re-engineered environment. Okay, the key business outcomes and the criteria for judging the quality, the business processes required to produce and support the business outcome. Okay, basically this process model is about the processes involved, okay, in accomplishing the task. Okay, the description of how those processes relate to each other. Okay, any dependencies from one process to another process, including the workflows, the information flows, and the timing dependencies. Okay, a process must create or transform physical or data and must add value to an outcome. So that is the process model, basically about the processes involved to complete and to accomplish a task. The information model describe all data required to perform and make decisions within the re-engineered business. It is the what question actually. What are the data required to perform and make decision? Okay, for that particular business. Okay, so basically, let's say the data of the customers, the order products, the order ID, the mailing address, the billing address, the phone number, contact number of the customer, all right, and then the name of the product, the description of the product. That is the information model. So this information model should be mapped into the process model to define how data is created or transformed by the redesign processes, and whether the data is used to make decision or to produce product. Okay, so you need to differentiate between these two, the process model and the information model. Process model is actually the how. Okay, the how question. The information model is the what question. The data to be included in the redesign business operations. The third model is the organization model. Okay, it defines the new or existing organization structure, the job positions, and the job configuration such as team structures, okay, required to perform and support the redesign processes. Okay, so usually for this organization model, okay, they can have many or few hierarchical levels. Okay, work can be organized around cross-functional teams or by function. Okay, functional team. For example, we have HR, okay, we have marketing, we have technology, IT, we have accounting, we have procurement, for example, and by function or cross-functional. Okay, some organizations centralize both physical location and reporting relationships. Some decentralize. Okay, others may use metrics. Okay, metric structure in which it is the temporary structure. If you still remember the one that you learn in ASM 401, we have metric structure. So it is a temporary structure. Okay, so once the project is completed, so this metric structure will dissolve. All right, and then some organizations, they may outsource the person outside the organization, okay, to do the task, to accomplish the work. Okay, so there are benefits and the risks to each organizational structure. So this is about the organization model, the structure of the organization, the positions, okay, the reporting relationship, okay, who should do this task and who should do that task. It's the who question. All right. What are the work to be done, who is accountable for each work. Okay, and then do we need to direct facilitate the employees, or they will do it on their own. Okay, and then the access of the resources. Okay, should we provide the access to the resources, okay, to accomplish the work. Okay, so that's about the organization model. Finally, it's on technology model. Okay, technology. Okay, when we talk about technology, okay, we'll think of something wow. All right. Technology can provide access to accurate and timely data to support decision making. It will provide feedback for self-correction, for process improvement. Okay, it allows people to conduct work simultaneously rather than sequentially. It allow people who enter data to process it. Okay, enable decisions to be made as close as to the customer as possible. Okay, and then enable physically dispersed people to work together. That are the advantages, the benefits of technology. Okay, so the technology model documents the databases, the applications, the communications, and networking required to support the redesign business process. So in order for the business to embed a new technology, or to improve the technology that they are using, to upgrade the technology that they are using, they need to know whether they really need that improvement and that upgrading or not. Because most of the time, when we want to embed the technology in the processes, in the business operation, it should be related to um, uh, the vision, the mission, and the goals of the project. All right. So the technology should include many requirements for the business operations. It should include the security, the quality assurance, whether there's a backup, an error correction, the speed, the volume, the user interface performance requirements, whether it is user friendly or not. We don't want if let's say we implement a new technology or an advanced technology, but is not using it. Okay, let's say you implement the technology, a new technology, but no one using it, or just 10% of the employees are using the technology. So we don't want that. It will be a failure of the project. Okay, the project won't be success. So you have to look at the administration of the system, the hardware, software used, and the other things that we need to consider when we want to upgrade or we want to implement technology, okay, in business operations. Okay, so basically it will take the employees to use the technology after the training. It will be a success, but it will take time. Okay, you need to provide training to the employees, okay, on the technology used, so that it will be as accurate, it will be as successful as what the company wants. Okay, so that's about the four models under the physical technical component for step 3, redesign business operation. The next component I would like to focus is the infrastructure component. This is the second component of the re-engineering blueprint. Okay, in this step 3, redesign business operations. Okay, so this infrastructure component defines how to reinforce the behavior and actions required to operate the physical technical component that we have discussed earlier effectively. Okay, so this infrastructure component consists of the management strategy, measurement systems, and the rewards programs or reward structure. Let's take a look at management strategy. Okay, this management strategy includes the managerial style and performance management process required to support the organization model, makes or breaks the implementation of the physical or technical component. Okay, so this management strategy must define a few things. Okay, first, supervisor and managerial job descriptions that identify the role definitions, the accountabilities, the authorities, criteria by which job performance will be measured and rewarded. Then, this management strategy should also define the skills, the knowledge required to execute each managerial job. Okay. Third, business practices for setting all worker and supervisory performance objectives. The fourth is the business practices for evaluating and rewarding worker performance. And last strategy is business practices for creating and executing employee development plans. So in this management strategy, these are the things that we need to focus on. Now let's move on to the measurement system under this infrastructure component step 3. Okay, so this measurement system defines the data, the process, and supporting business practices for collecting, evaluating, and displaying performance results for each accountable job position or team. Okay, so here is actually the measurement system is actually the WH question, the who, what, when, how. questions. All right. So in this re-engineered environment, people in the organization will be held accountable for meeting quality standards for all outcomes. So you should know who are responsible for the for that particular task. For example, for the data collection, for instance. When to collect the data, how the data will be displayed, for example. So these requirements for measurement system include the detailing of who is accountable for data collection, and then what data must be collected. And this is as defined in the project goals and process performance targets. When to what level of accuracy and detail, and how often data will be collected. How data will be displayed for appropriate analysis and decision making. And next question is, who is accountable for analyzing? Once the data has been collected, who is accountable for analyzing and taking action on the measurement data? So you are defining the data, the process, the supporting business practices for collecting, evaluating, how the data will be used. For example, for continuing process improvement, reward allocation, or both. So this measurement system is very important in this infrastructure component. How will you reinforce the behavior and actions to operate the business? We also have the reward programs, the reward structure in this infrastructure component to reinforce the behavior of the team members to operate the physical or technical component effectively. As discussed earlier, the reward program should motivate people. It should motivate people to produce, to achieve, to perform in the project. All right. So ideally, the work itself provides intrinsic motivation to perform. But at a minimum level, however, the reward programs should not discourage appropriate behavior in people. So you should encourage the behavior of people by using this reward program. So the reward program should include both financial and non-financial elements, the monetary and non-monetary rewards. So these may include a description of the required performance as defined by re-engineering goals and process performance objectives. So you should outline what are the required performance, the minimum required performance of the team, of the individuals. All right, and then measurement of the performance as defined by the measurement system. The one that you have emphasized in the measurement system. Type and amount of reward for each level of performance achievement should be communicated, should be announced to all team members, so that they will have that a behavior. They will take action on what to do to achieve that performance. And last, business practices, the timing requirements, controls, documentation for evaluating performance and conferring rewards. So this reward program should emphasize the behavior, the actions required to operate the physical or technical component effectively. The last component of the blueprint is value component or value layer. So this value component defines the culture, power, and individual belief systems that must be aligned with the re-engineering vision and values. So this value component describes the underlying philosophy and characteristics of the business culture that must be in place in order for people to embrace, to nurture, to reinforce the re-engineered business operation. Okay, so this value component is very important. It's very crucial to the BPR. Okay, with proper training, with proper planning, the culture can and will change. Okay, but it needs time. Okay, it is important to define what is out and what is in terms of behavior, the use of power, and the individual belief systems in the re-engineered business operations. So as the team members, okay, we need to show the new culture, okay, through what we say and what we do. Okay, everyone is looking at us, okay, as the team members, okay, as the project manager, as the project director. Okay, so we need to act out, okay, the new values and beliefs. Okay, then others will adopt those behavior. Three dimensions in this value component are organizational culture, power utilization, and belief system. Okay, so this is just like what we have earlier in chapter 1. Okay, we have the organizational culture, power utilization or the political power, and then we have the individual belief system. Okay, so what is organizational culture? Okay, it defines the rituals, the symbols, and behavior that are observable in the re-engineered environment. Okay, so that is organizational culture. Okay, so usually the culture has been set earlier at the establishment of the organization itself. Okay, it defines matters such as whether people arrived on time to meetings and whether they work in team workrooms or individual cubicles. That's the implementation that has been set up earlier, okay, during the establishment of the company, of the organization. Okay, so it is very important, in redesigning the business operation, so that, okay, we can help the team members. As a team members, we can try to change the culture of the organization based on the redesign business operation. It is not that easy to change the culture as it has been embedded in the culture of the organization for a long time. So it needs time for us to change the culture of the organization, but it can be changed. Yeah, it can be changed. All right, it is possible to change the culture of the organization, but okay, we need to act out. We need to show them the new culture. All right, we need to do what we need to do. Okay, and then second is the power utilization. Power is the ability to get things done. Here, as the political power, referent power, formal power that we have, the expert power. Okay, one kind of power is based on a person's job within the organizational hierarchy. The political power or the personal power or the formal power that we have. Okay, this job power includes the ability to give or take away rewards in the form of praise, money, promotions. All right. So how people should use their job and personal power to accomplish the work and motivates people. Okay, to change, all right, to accomplish the work given by the top management. All right. So from the negative perspective, we have from the negative perspective of job power, that includes the coercive power and the punishment. Okay, you use the punishment. Okay, ability to influence through actions, threats, pay cuts, all right, termination and layoffs. We call it as the coercive power, and the punishment to the employees or team members who do not follow the new procedures, for example, the new processes. Okay, so Okay, we have actually in this power utilization, we have 4 types of personal power. Previously, if you took the code of 404, ASM 404, we have learned about this power, right? Reference power, expert power, information power, and connection power. So what is reference power? Okay, when people like or respect you, that is the reference power. Once upon a time, Maui has this reference power, and nowadays siapa? I do not know. Maybe siapa the celebrity who has the reference power. You yourself know, all right? Expert power because of your knowledge and skills. Okay, you are the professionals, you have that expertise. Okay, so that is expert power. Information power because you have relevant and accurate information. Okay, maybe you are the important person in the organization, or you have connection with the important person, so you have that accurate information. Okay, so you have that information power. Okay, and then the connection power because you can influence important people, and maybe you have the connection just now, and that's why you have the information power. And maybe you have that for this connection power, you have, let's say, you are relatives to those important people, or you are best friend to him or her, of that important people. Okay, or you have that connection power with outsiders, with ministers, for example. Okay, so that is connection power. Okay, so this power utilization is important in the value component itself. Okay, for the team or for the employees to align with the re-engineering vision and values. The last dimension of value component is the belief system. It is actually the thinking structure, the capacity to value people, function and system, the ability to clearly and accurately assimilate information to make decisions, and the attentiveness to our total environment. This forms the basis and drive for much of our behavior. Usually, we have that mental models and beliefs that will shape our attitudes towards others and the behavior on the job. Okay, so if you look at the example in the textbook on page 115, they give you an example of the capacity to value people as unique individuals regardless of their function or performance is a belief that the organization can reflect through fair and equitable support and assistance during a downsizing mandated by the re-engineering. So usually our mental model, our beliefs will be shaped by this reflection of the how the organization support and assist during a downsizing. All right, so you will believe based on what you see. All right, you will believe based on the information that you get from the organization, from people around you to make decision. All right, so this belief system, if let's say you see that the project manager, the team members, they deliver good things about the re-engineering, the redesign, so you believe that redesign, re-engineering will lead to success, so you will lead your belief system to follow, to take that redesign thing, okay, into your way, and then you will just follow whatever that has been set by the organization, that has been re-engineered, that has been transformed by the organization to change from A to B, for example. Okay, so your mental models has been set by this behavior, your behavior, all right, the behavior of the team members of the manager, for example. There are 4 key activities of this step 3 redesign business operation. These key activities, just like what we have in step 2, okay, in creating vision, values and goals. All right, more or less the same, but for key activities for step 2, it's on the creating vision, values and goals. But here we have to create the blueprints. All right, so there are 4, but for creating vision, values and goals, we have 5 key activities. But for this redesign business operations, we have 4 key activities. The first key activity is to prepare the blueprint sessions. So to prepare for the blueprint session, you need to do the following. First, design session structure and process. Second, identify content, learning and team building requirements. Third, prepare the session script, so that you are prepared for what to deliver. Fourth, prepare documentation worksheets and forms, and in which for those data collection. All right, what has been discussed will be documented in these worksheets and forms. And fifth, select and reserve meeting room. All right. Second activity is conduct the blueprint sessions. After preparing for the blueprint session, here comes the conducting the blueprint session. Okay, so under the project facilitators guidance, the project facilitators that has been trained in this project, okay, the re-engineering project team develops and reaches consensus on the business operation redesign. And the third key activity is you need to document the blueprint, record whatever that has been discussed. Okay, production of the blueprint requires synthesizing the session results and writing a succinct and understandable document. Okay, and then the last key activity is validate the blueprint. Okay, you need to refine and correct the blueprint before publication. Okay, you need to understand that it is sometimes difficult, most of the time difficult for people to escape, to change from their current reality to the new one. All right, so there are actually 5 letting go problems in the organization, if it is related to this re-engineering. First, separating what needs to be done, okay, from who does it. Okay, separating what needs to be done, the processes, from who does it, the organizations or the teams. Okay, second, identifying customers and understanding that they may be internal or external to the organization. So who are your customers, the internal or the external customers. Okay, third, not considering different perspectives in the redesign. It includes the finance, management, audit, control, production and legal. Okay, fourth, expecting a technological solution to solve a business operation problem. This is the most problems in the organization. Yes, sometimes by adapting to this technology, by embedding the technology to the solution of the business operation, the organization, they have put a high hope on this technology to solve the problem. But the main thing here is, even though you have that technology, you have that advanced technology, the people themselves, who will change the processes, who will solve the problem. All right. Okay. However, the right technology is essential to the organization. You have to choose the right technology. But you have to put in documentation for the policies, practices, of the technology itself. All right, and then it should be balanced. Good balance of technology and business policies, practices, and the people itself. And the last letting go problem is worrying about implementation issues when people should be concentrating on the business redesign. So people can let go of how to do it. They may dismiss creative and innovative ideas because they cannot easily visualize how to implement them. So they need to be reminded about the difference between what and how. So as a team members, as a project manager, as the project director, you need to communicate with them the difference between the what and the how. All right, the blueprint needs to define what they want, not how to get there. What do you want to achieve at the end of the project? But the implementation plan will define how. Implementation plan, how to do that. How to achieve those vision, mission, the values, the goals that you have set earlier.